Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone to my channel, and if this is your first time, welcome as well. So for this particular video, we're going to be working on an Olympiad question, and from the screen you see that we have x plus cy equals 1 and cx plus 9y equals 3. The first thing you have to observe is they gave you an equation, but they're asking you for a specific solution. So the question is asking, find for all values of the parameter c, which is what we have here and here, for which the following system of equations has no solution. So they want you to be able to determine every single value of the parameter c, where the parameter c, basically when you solve the system of equation, whenever you solve it, wherever the parameter c has no solution, that is what is required for it to be the answer, basically. So find all the values of the parameter c, okay, for which the following system of equations has no solution. So you have x plus cy equals to 1 and cx plus 9y equals to 3. The first thing you have to do is, whenever you're given a system of equations, when you're given that, the thing you have to do is to simplify. And simplifying basically means when you're given two equations as well as two variables, you simplify it to get one variable and for you to also get one equation. So for example, if you're given a question with 3 equations and you have 3 variables, the goal is to get it from 3 equations and 3 variables to 2 equations and 2 variables. But in this case, we're given 2 equations, equation 1 here, and the second equation, equation 2, basically, and we're going to go from 2 equations to 1 equation and 2 variables to 1 variable. That's how you simplify a question given in system of equations problem. So in order for us to simplify this, one thing we can do is we're going to rewrite the question. X plus cy equals 1 and cx plus 9y equals 3. So you're going to multiply this top equation here by negative c. Okay? Multiply this top equation by negative c. And when you multiply the top equation by negative c, this is the thing you get. Now you're going to be wondering, what are we going to do to the second equation? You can just multiply it by 1, nothing special. So now you have a new equation as negative cx, okay, minus c squared y equals negative c, okay? And then the bottom you have cx plus 9y equals 3, right? So the next thing you have to do is, because of we're trying to reduce the number of equations, we already know by multiplying negative c to the first equation, we're trying to simplify. Negative cx plus cx is the same thing as 0 here. Negative c squared y plus 9y is the same thing as negative c squared y plus 9y, and negative c plus 3 is the same thing as negative c plus 3, right? So now this is what you have. We can rewrite this to be 9y minus c squared y equals 3 minus c, right? So now we're going to have this equation here, and we're going to bring it up top here to keep solving it, and I'm going to explain it as we go on. So you have this, right? So one thing you can do is, since you have 9y minus c squared y equals 3 minus c, you can just say, you can bring out the common factor, which is y. So you have y, right? 9 minus c squared equals 3 minus c. Well, one thing you can also do is you can bring out a negative, because you have to look at this question here. First of all, y in open parenthesis, 9 minus c squared, close parenthesis, equals 3 minus c. What is the way to simplify this question further? Well, the way we can simplify the question further is to basically say y. We're going to make y the subject of formula. We can say y equals 3 minus c over 9 minus c squared. We could also do this to make our life easy. We can say y equals, we're going to bring out a negative 1 from the numerator. So we do negative, and we have c, okay, minus 3. Because if we multiply negative through the first equation, we end up with negative c plus 3, which is what we have at the top. So we're bringing out a negative to simplify our work. Then the second one, we bring out a negative, so we end up here with c squared minus 9, which is the same thing as, when you bring out the negative and the negative, guess what? Positive here, positive here. So that would be c minus 3 over c squared minus 9. Remember, you guys, when you've like learned your, basically when you have like x squared minus 4 is the same thing as x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 2. So in this case, c squared minus 3 squared is what we're dealing with. So that's the same thing here as, we're going to have c minus 3 and c plus 3. And guess what? C minus 3 and c plus 3. If we multiply c minus 3 by c plus 3, what we're going to end up with is c squared minus 9, right? That's the same thing we're going to end up with. So we're going to cancel this here and cancel this here. So our answer is now going to be y. Okay. We're going to end up with y equals 1 over c plus 3. And now remember what the question asked. Find all the values of the parameter c for which the following systems of equation has no solution. Well, we just found out that y equals 1 over c plus 3. And we're asked that when we're dealing with the following system of equations, we want a point where the parameter c has no solutions. Well, the way for us to get no solutions, for example, in the above equation, is if c equals minus 3, because 1 over c plus 3, same thing as 1, right? Over minus 3 plus 3 is the same thing as 1 over 0. And 1 over 0 is undefined, which means that there's no solution. If something is undefined, it's like you cannot define it, hence you cannot solve it, so that is no solution. So you end up with y is equals to 1 over 0, and 1 over 0 can only occur or happen whenever c equals negative 3. So the answer to this question, basically the parameter is, find all the values of the parameter c for which the following systems of equations has no solution. This the parameter c has no solution whenever c equals negative 3. So that is the answer to this question. If you guys like this video, please make sure you watch the next one. And the next one is quite similar to this one. And I'm going to give you this question here, which is find all the value of the parameter k for which the following, you guys know where this is going. Yes, you guys are getting it right. Following system of equations does not have a solution, have a solution. So then you have the question to be k x plus 2y equals 1, and you have 2x plus ky equals 1. So if you guys can answer this question, that would be great. I am going to be solving it on the video currently on the end screen right now. So I wish you guys all the very best. See you. Make sure you click on it so that we can solve this one together, or you can solve it and then click on it and then see if we get the right answer. Let's go. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.